Welcome to the podcast, HASSDISCUSSES. We have Jace and Tizzy T returning, the dynamic duo, and I interviewed them last, almost a year ago, and I've interviewed Jace twice already, and I've only interviewed Tizzy once, and this is Jace's third time on the podcast, and this is Tizzy T's second time on the podcast, so welcome them, and listen to their music. The link to that's going to be in the description. They make some fire shit. And what moves have you been making recently when it comes to music in general that you could speak on?
Honestly, just trying to fine tune the actual music aspect of it, I guess. Because I feel like the moves we're making are pretty decent. I mean, we trying to get some like shows and development, put our faces out there a little more. You know what I mean? Do some performances and shit. Because that's something that we love to do, and that's why we started doing this shit. And we have yet to really put our foot in that a lot. So we want to do that a little bit more, but other than that, yeah, we're just trying to fine tune the music, actually. You know what I mean? Like,
who could you see yourself performing alongside, as opposed to the person that you're already alongside with?
Most likely Paradise.
Yeah,
That's a good group. That's a good group there.
Name who's in that group.
You got Apex, Rambo, Solely, Foreign Flavor. Oh, I'm forgetting somebody. They're gonna be mad at me, but when they come to me, I'll let you know. But,
Well, shouts out to them and everybody that's been fucking with them. And shouts out to Rainbow Ridge. Yeah. So talk about that song that got 50 streams though. Who was on that?
Oh, someone. Oh, damn. That was Apex, Foreign Flavor, Rambo. I mean, yeah, we were just chilling in the studio for real, no plans. We was just fucking around and we made that shit, and it just worked out that way. I'm surprised it even blew up the way it did, honestly. It was like, one moment, it had like 100 and some odd views. Sleep on it the next day, it's like, gone.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Talk about the new addition to SRG. You've only really stated this online, but you haven't stated it in an interview. Talk about that, Jace.
my man Lil Senna. That's my young bull. He,
Not Lil Cena.
Yeah, Lil Senna. Because now SRG, we definitely putting emphasis on that, making sure, you know what I mean, his shit being said right. Lil Senna, he in our shit right now, and I'm not going to lie, like, he's not releasing nothing right now. We told him to chill out because he put out a lot of shit for a minute, and same thing with us, he's fine-tuning his shit right now, and he got a few unreleases that's about to come out, and honestly, like, he's probably the hottest fucking artist doing it under the age of 18, honestly. Like, with really that much experience, and you gotta think he does it all by himself. He mixes all this shit himself. He records himself. Like, he hasn't even had that studio touch at that feel. That's why we wanted to bring him in, you know what I mean? Because we like to pride ourselves on business etiquette and professionalism at some point, you know what I mean? So, if we can sit there and anybody that's going to be in this shit with us, you know what I mean? We're going to sit there and try to make sure we steer them in the right path. All right, let's start thinking about merch. Let's start thinking about logos. Let's start thinking about booking you some studio time, you know what I mean? Start rubbing the elbows with the right people and start, you know what I mean, trying to get shit, because he's probably, if you look at his shit, right, the numbers don't reflect the talent, you feel me?
Yeah.
Which with a lot of us underground artists, it happens to be that case, but you have to sift through a lot of bullshit to find actually decent people, and then when you do find them decent people, they have very niche, like, you know what I mean, group of fans and shit like that, so we're trying to help him build that shit to get where he needs to be, because he should be at that thousands of view range, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that, because a lot of people just, like, they put out, like, 20 songs a month, and each of those songs probably don't even reach 20 streams, you know what I mean, which is a sad case, but that shit happens, though. But, you know, I want to ask, you've fallen out from a lot of rappers over a year, like, you don't work with Slatted Out anymore. Do you want to address why you don't work with Slatted Out anymore?
Nah, yeah, no, for that, I'm just, how do I say it?
How about this? Better question. What makes you not want to work with an artist anymore? And what's a red flag before you work with an artist?
I mean, let me say this. It's never me. If y'all see what I talk about, you can watch all. This is my third interview with you. Even just a minute ago, how you was shouting out. You know what I mean? People and shit like that. That's the first thing we talked about before we started talking about ourselves. Right or wrong, was other artists. Am I lying?
Shit.
So, me personally, if you see my other interviews and shit like that, I'm right wrong. Use it right there, interviewing me, right? I sit there and talk about all these other artists before I'll probably spend 10 minutes with myself, and I'll give you 30 minutes of material worth of other people and what they're doing. You feel me? So if you ever see anything like that, just know it ain't never me.
What other things like that? What do you mean?
Like if you just see me not working with an artist so much, me not, you know what I mean, showing too much support to somebody so much because I feel like I give everybody that like one, you know what I mean? Unless I really like rock with you or something like that, like him, he my brother, you know what I mean? So me and him, if we ever fall out or anything like that, you know what I mean, it's always going to be reconciled because that's how much time we got in together. But as far as people that just I'm cordial with, yeah, I give everybody one. You know what I mean? I'm going to support you, I'm going to ride for you, I'm going to, you know what I mean? All the way to 100. Once you give me a reason not to, or once you start acting different in that, then I'm off of it.
Yeah.
So, regardless to anybody. And some people, honestly, too, it's just like, bro, you gotta understand, too, right? Because you're trying to get into the music now, right?
Yeah.
As an artist, you don't want to attach yourself to somebody too much, you know what I mean? Regardless, I wouldn't want somebody to attach themselves to me too much. Because then that's what people expect. And after a while, it becomes draining and drowned out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate all the relationships I had with everybody, all the little features I did real quick, you know what I mean? All them studio sessions and shit like that, phone calls, you know what I mean? Chopping it up about music, trying to make moves together and shit, all that, you know what I mean? All that type of shit. I appreciate all of it, but you don't want to be in that too much, you know what I mean? The only reason why I do it with him is because I trust him, you know what I mean? I know at the end of the day, if I fall back, he gonna do what he gonna do, you know what I mean? I didn't drop music for a few months, and then what did he do? He went and dropped that feature and shit like that. And then got thousands and thousands of views off of it, you know what I mean? Got our shit pushed out there more, you know what I mean? So when I'm falling back, he got this. If he fall back, I got this. I trust him, he trusts me, you know what I mean? But as far as everybody else, nah, I'm not going to depend on somebody else to sit there and try to make where I want to go, you know what I mean? Because I don't even want nobody to be able to say that, regardless. I don't want nobody to be like, oh, the reason why you got to this point that you at right now is because of the shit that I did. If anybody is going to be able to say that, it's going to be him. And I'll take that, and I'm going to give him that respect and his flowers for that, you know what I mean? But as far as anybody else, nah.
I feel like what you could attribute you and each other, you know, supporting each other more than everyone else is, you know, what you got tatted on your fucking arm is fucking SRG. And that's, you know, you say don't become attached to other artists that you work with too much. That's, you know, reasonable unless you're in a group with someone. Because if you're in a group with someone, then you have a right to be as attached to someone and work hard with someone as you want, because that's what groups are for. They're supposed to lean on each other in a positive way where, you know, you reciprocate the same energy back that you give someone else and you support someone else, they support you. Would you say that it's really good for young artists or to get into a group as soon as possible, because like if you want to rap?
I feel like if they can flow well together, yeah. I mean, but it's always important to have your own material, have your own mindset when, you know, you do stuff like this, because you don't want to have the habit of doing shit like the person you work with, or having that mindset to where you're not going to want to do anything by yourself, you know?
Yeah, I feel you, because there's one of my favorite new artists is his name. He goes by the name of Cemetery, and he's like the best way I could describe him is like Blade, Lil Peep, and Chief Keef and Black Cray all together. He's a very unique sound, and he also pulls from Witch House and black metal, and he's very unique. And he started a group called the Haunted Mound with Ghost Mountain. But the thing is that all the new artists he brings in that nobody hears about, I'm not gonna say any names. I don't want to piss them off. They all just sound like him, and you can't understand if you're listening to Cemetery or his new member of Haunted Mound. Yeah. You know, like it really sucks that it really sucks when everybody in the group sounds like the same person.
But real quick, can I say something back to answer your question too? Because I feel like that we both should answer that question real quick, right?
Yeah, of course.
To me too. Also, you gotta understand, bro. Me and him, we under very different circumstances. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna come about their career or their love of music like that. You know what I mean? Me and him kind of found that together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we was doing our own shit and shit like that, but also we spent a lot of nights, like, bro, I'll tell you, I think I never told a story in an interview and shit like that, but one time, literally, like, me and him, like, met up right on, like, Friday night. We met up at, like, 5, 6 o'clock, right? Me and him, literally, 5, 6 o'clock we started, we probably had an ounce of bud, got a bottle, a couple drinks, like, ordered a bunch of, like, $8 worth of McDonald's and shit like that, bro. Had a bunch of beats, so we literally just sat up in the crib until 7 o'clock in the morning. By 7 o'clock that morning, we posted a full 10-song tape, collab tape. And it wasn't studio quality or nothing like that. We literally recorded that shit on the iPhone, on the voice memos, like when we first started doing music, you know what I mean? But it was just that camaraderie of literally hours and hours, like, yo, bro, what the fuck, what should I put for this? Yo, you got that? Yo, that's crazy as shit. Let me add this to that, and we'll go bar for bar, back and forth. Yo, you got this hook? All right, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Literally, like, 12, 13 hours locked in a fucking dungeon, you know what I mean? Like, iron sharpen iron, you feel me?
That's how this podcast shit started, was me and my homies, we watched a movie, and we were just all night, we just recorded, like, a video, and just worked on the video about the fucking movie that we just watched. Like, a little podcast, like, right in these fucking couch. It all starts with, like, other people, but I had to learn afterwards, like, you know, those people aren't always going to be available to work on shit with me. Like, and they weren't. And right now I'm doing this alone because I was the only one who stayed interested years after, like, more than 2 years after it fucking happened.
Oh yeah, bro, too. I mean, you gotta understand that that's like life sometimes, right? People have different, whatchamacallit, goals and paths, you know what I mean? Like, same thing with us, right? We started with SRG, there was literally 5 members. You see now, like, yeah, we just added little scene and stuff like that, but originally, like, yeah, there was 5 members, you know what I mean? Everybody repping that shit together in the crib, freestyling together and shit like that. Now everybody knows it's just me and T. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not to everybody else that was in that shit, but just that they decided to focus on this in life, didn't want to get in the studio more. They, you know what I mean? My other man, you know what I mean, he had a kid and stuff like that. He was a little bit older than us and shit like that, so he was more focused on that and trying to, you know what I mean, get his life together and shit like that. Didn't really do the studio shit or nothing like that, you know what I mean? So different people gonna have different life paths and shit like that. It's just if you really fuck with this shit and you want to do it, then you gotta just make time for that shit, you know what I mean? Or you gotta just jump around those hoops and hurdles, like, even especially right now, bro, you know, I got a kid now and shit like that, like, having to sit there and, you know what I mean, focus on that real life shit, you know what I mean, you got to handle and all that, plus studio time, you know what I mean, paying for promo and shit like that, like, there's a lot of shit that goes into the shit, then you got to find a day to leave your kid for 6, 7, 8 hours to go to the studio and lock in and shit, you know what I mean, and then you got to sit there and take all this time to do interviews and shit like that away from them, and you know what I mean, it's just, you got to find that balance, but if you really want to do that shit, then you won't nut the fuck up and you're going to do it, you know what I mean? If not, then you just gonna fold under that shit and you just gonna stop doing it.
Yeah, that's why, like, sometimes you gotta, like, sit back and realize, like, you can't let all these other shit get to you, but sometimes, like, you gotta do other shit. Sometimes you gotta, like, you know, put your fucking hours in and make money for whatever fucking reason you need to make money for. Like, that shit, I work 5 days a week now, and this shit fucking, I barely put out any more fucking videos, to be honest, because, like, life fucking hits people. And if you see some of your artists not post shit, like, even if they're famous or not, maybe it's time to stop thinking about the fucking artists that you're obsessing over and start thinking about yourself.
But you gotta think with yourself too, right, bro? You used to literally sit there and drop, like, an interview damn near every day each week, right? Or some type of content. Most YouTubers and people that do the shit that you do, right, in all the fields that you do stuff, they do a lot less of what you do. So even now if you're barely doing it, you're just still at that normal rate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's really hurting you, none. Like, I think, like, sometimes it might be good for you to start, like, you know what I mean, just compacting all the stuff you do, you know what I mean, instead of just trying to do so many different things, but, okay, I want to do this, this, and this. So let me figure out these 3 things I want to do with each one of them, knock them out, and then move on to the next ones, you know what I mean?
Because you can just tell when someone that you like watching, you know, or listening to, has a fucking procedure for how they do shit. I think that, like, not having a procedure, like, I think that you have a procedure, like, you always have a studio pretty much that you're always going to, like, and you find a lot of time to find engineers that you know you can trust.
Well, I like to feel comfortable too, and I'll let you speak to that too, right? But I feel like with us it's more about, like, comfortability, you know what I mean? I want to be able to, like, it's about that vibe, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of shit can fuck that up, you know what I mean? at the time period, and also
Yeah.
like we've been through that situations where we sat there and you know what I mean, been in people's fucking closets in their house, you know what I mean, and they sitting there got people running in and out, you know what I mean, fucking 7 kids and shit like that, like all those different types of shit. We've been in the worst types of studios you could possibly fucking think about. We've been in vinyl studios that didn't even use computers and shit like that. They used straight white discs. And,
The
you know what I mean?
44 bars.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what some of our highest view songs are off of that type shit, but I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just we've done every little bit of thing, so that's what I'm saying. Even with adding a little incentive to this shit, right? It's like, trust us, you know what I mean? Like, we've damn near been in every little pocket that you could possibly think of. We tried every little route, you know what I mean? We about as seasoned and as vet into the shit as anybody around here that's really doing it. If you think about it, most of the artists that you listen to around here, they've been doing music for no more than a year or a year and a half or 2 years.
Or if they do, you can just, when you listen to it, you can tell they recorded it on their own.
They've been doing shit since 2013.
Yeah.
Damn near 10 years.
Yeah, bro. And it's in your blood, too, because, you know, your dad.
Yeah, I mean, that type shit, though, I really don't too much on that, you know what I mean, with that type shit. I feel like that doesn't really have too much to do with it because you know what I mean, I was never around him for that shit. I found that shit myself, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, still, it's just cool.
But I understand
it's cool to mention, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also, I mean, like, it would be if there was something, you know what I mean, following that. But yeah, it's definitely, what I can say is it gives you a little bit of perspective, like, oh yeah, somebody was just like me at this time doing the same shit I was doing, and then a couple years later they threw their life away, you know what I mean? And are in prison and shit like that. So there's ways that you can like fuck yourself up if you hit a bump in the road. So you just gotta steer clear, you know what I mean, and just, you know what I mean, do the right shit.
Yeah.
But
people take certain paths, whatever though. But I wanted to talk on something else though. What shows you been watching? You got any good shows you been watching? Movies.
Man, I'm still watching Disjointed.
What's that about?
Oh man,
you ain't seen
you ain't seen Disjointed? Okay, so
I haven't eaten collard greens until today either, and they were bugging me about that.
So Disjointed is about a woman that's running a dispensary, and you know she's got all her employees, and they all got their different struggles, and they touch on them and shit. It's really good, but it's also like it's funny. But it makes you think though, because it's like they touch on real situations, on like how people are, what they go through and shit.
So it's just kind of like about somebody that traps.
Nah, it's a dispensary.
No, it's a
in
dispensary.
California.
Oh.
It's like an old white woman.
It's like it's supposed to be like a comedy sitcom, like something you would see on TV, but they never put nothing like that on TV. But yeah. That's basically how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. There's just one movie that I want to know if you guys knew about. It's about, like, selling weed. Kid Cannabis.
Yeah.
Isn't that a good fucking movie? Do you remember that?
Got Junior, Jaron Benton. He did it. He's one of his songs is on the soundtrack of the Schizo.
Who's that?
Jaron Benton, Atlanta artist and shit like that. And he was in our Funk Volume and shit like that.
Oh, that crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's fire shit. But yeah, he did a couple songs for the soundtrack of that movie. But yeah, no, that movie's fire shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. When Homeboy was standing in his crib and him and the girl butt ass naked and they robbed him and shit.
And remember when they had to go through the fucking state? They had to shove the.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro, that movie's.
Yeah, bro. I was almost thinking I was Oh man, I'm about to confess to a felony. Who gives a fuck?
No. Nope. Next question.
So I had a friend.
Next question.
I had a friend that snuck weed seeds into into a different state, and he was thinking of shoving it up, but nah, he didn't do it, and he was fine. Yo, get back here, bro. It was just a friend, dude. It was just a friend, bro. Just a friend, bro. Dude, you don't even burn, bro. Do you even burn?
If you do, you better get that shit checked out.
Do you even burn, bro?
You gonna need antiseptic for that or some shit, bro.
They got Wickmans for that.
No, burn, like...
They got cream.
Have you seen The Real Bros of Simi Valley? Oh, yeah, he burns. He burns, bro. He's got the game. 2 for 99. 2 for 9.
Got loaded up on the teeth.
2 for $99. You ever been to the boardwalk and there's a one boy that says
I can't even smoking this motherfucking mic.
yeah, Mama Hash is upstairs. You ever been to the boardwalk and that one motherfucker says we got sunglasses, 1 for $5, 2 for $9. You remember that shit? You don't go to the boardwalk like that?
Oh, on the beach? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, bro, that shit's funny.
I like them fries, them Thrasher fries, them shit's a joke.
What the fuck's Thrasher fries?
I thought Thrasher's
Bro,
was just a
oh my god,
t-shirt.
Bro, I'm uncultured to them.
You know what I'm talking about, bro? The boardwalk fries and the big ass buckets.
Yeah, the big ass buckets.
Yeah, it's Thrasher. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I thought they were just like a what you call it?
Now it's called Thrashers. Under that shit, bro. Trust me, them joints with vinegar and salt, bro. Oh my god. Anyway,
Good Lord.
You know what's kind of overrated or too
Yo.
expensive? Chickies and peas fries. Them shits are too expensive. You know what I'm talking about?
nah.
What?
What did you say?
The Chickies and peas fries. They're like $14.
Where at?
Like you can get them at like Philly or like the Shore, like Jersey Shore.
I've only been to Jersey Shore like once in my whole entire life.
You know what's not overrated and is worth how expensive it is? Going to a Stewart's Root Beer restaurant. You ever been to that?
Yeah, in Colorado when I went when I was 19th birthday.
Yeah, dude. Bro, you know what we gotta do? We gotta do a road trip. Or do you think? I don't know. Yeah, now I know your situation. But still, road trip.
Colorado.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because now you got a kid.
Yeah.
So it's hard to even make plans like that. Because now you gotta get your kid involved.
He's staring at the camera like,
That's dad shit for you.
that's that.
Oh no. I can't. Oh no.
But
Oh
what
my
brand is
God.
that? What brand is that though? That shit's nuts. What you're wearing? What is it?
It's
Some
Nunya,
shit.
sponsored by your motherfucking business.
None yet. Okay. Well,
Bro, show my button.
what did you say? Okay, so I guess that I'm not gonna be able to know this beautiful clothing brand he's wearing.
You say you don't know?
No, I really did that stuff now.
MCM.
I just bought it because I liked it.
Yeah.
My drip too crazy, bro. You feel me?
What's that? Lucky Charm. Where'd you get that from? None of your
mom's
business.
closet.
Your mom's.
It's like, nah, I'm cool.
Yo, where's the bathroom back there? I done got loaded up with
In his mouth. He's done. He's done.
You over? Yep, it was nice. We're gonna wrap this up.
We gonna wrap this up.
Don't like, unsubscribe, do not comment.
Alright, well, Tizzy's gotta take a bathroom, so I guess we'll just end this shit off. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Until you make them charge.
Yeah.